Hello, welcome beautiful vibrant souls to today's reading, which is going to be a collective reading for the full moon in Leo that we are having tomorrow, January 25th, 2024. Whoops. So yes, hello, welcome. I'm really excited to get into this with you. So as I usually like to do in these readings, I'm going to spend the first couple minutes kind of detailing what I have a burp that's going to come up, by the way. Excuse me. Detailing what the full moon in Leo is kind of talking about, what it's covering. I will say that while we're going to talk about overarching themes, and then we will start pulling cards to get more specifics about how this energy might be playing out for the collective, it does behoove you to also kind of mix in with your interpretation if you have any Leo placements and what house Leo falls in your chart to get a more specific idea for you personally about how this energy might be playing out. I do offer lunar guidance sessions, which is where we take, whatever the lunar phase is, whether new or full moon, we take that astrological event, right, and we apply it to your own personal astrology, and then we go from there to possibly plan, any spell work, ritual work, just for information, right, intention setting, so you can best harness that energy based on your own personal astrology. I do still have a couple of lunar guidance session time slots available. So unless it's an eclipse, lunar energy tends to go from lunar phase to lunar phase, but be most potent 3 days beforehand and 3 days afterward. So if you are interested in figuring out how to best utilize this energy to apply it, to your own life based on your personal astrology, I do still have a couple of time slots open toward the end of the week that I can do that work with you. I do also offer astrological guidance sessions, which are where we sit down and we examine either some placements that you have, an area of your chart. We look at your chart for an area of life to get an insight about how your personal astrology might be impacting your experience and what you can do about it. So those aren't necessarily solely related to, a lunar phase or anything like that, but they're just really neat to do. As you can tell, I get very excited about it. Those are also linked on my shop. Excuse me. I'll put the links for both in the description box below. And those are really neat. Those are about an hour. They're one-on-one Zoom guidance sessions, and they're super fun. I love doing those with you guys. So if you're interested in any of those will be found on my shop as well as linked below. So, and for those of you who don't want to hear the description about what the full moon in Leo might entail, totally fine. You do you, boo. But I will put in the timestamps in the description box below. I'll put a timestamp to when we actually start the card pull. So if you are looking to skip this, I'll see you over there, my friend. But for everyone else who's sticking around, let's get into it. I'm just taking a sip of water. Whew. I'm having a little bit of a respiratory day, so I need to stop and breathe a little bit as we go. Okay, so full moons in general are a time where things are coming full circle. Things come into manifestation, into fruition. Things come up for closure and release. As such, full moons can indicate a period of grief work for some. It can also be a time of celebration, right? It's really just going to depend. And for me, full moons also talk about, because the moon in astrology, I don't know, I did that. The moon in astrology does talk about your feelings, right? Your emotions, your inner world, but it also deals with the subconscious. So because of that, and because the full moon is the most illuminated of all the moon phases, I also view the full moons as a time to get insight or clarity as to where your blind spots might be when it comes to the energy of whatever sign the full moon is in, right? So with it being in Leo, it first of all behooves you to look at any Leo placements you have, what house Leo is in your chart, as well as to a smaller extent, whatever is in your 5th house, because Leo naturally rules the 5th house in the standard wheel of the zodiac, right? And obviously it's going to be in a different place based on your personal astrology, but that's good to know. So Leo energy, usually ruling the 5th house. Leo energy is all about connecting to your passions. It's also about connecting to your solar self, right? Your highest vibrational version of self. Because that's kind of what your sun sign really talks about. It is, who you are, but it's it's the best version of yourself to a certain extent. Like that and your North Node kind of coupled together. Some would say that your North Node, by embracing your North Node, that's how you kind of get to your solar self. But that's a different TED Talk for a different day. So, it really is about embracing your highest vibrational version of yourself as much as possible. Leo is also very much a leader, right? Which is interesting because Leo rules the 5th house, and that does deal with like a childlike energy. So it's kind of about being able to balance the inner child with the, that kind of more take charge adults that we have to be. But it deals with following your passions, right? Finding your passions and then being confident and courageous and brave enough to go after those passions. So it usually deals a lot with creativity as well. One of the kind of, I guess I'll say darker sides of both that sort of like Leo energy and 5th house energy that might be coming up for some folks is that the 5th house and thus that Leo energy really does deal with that unbridled passion and inspiration, which can kind of lend itself to overindulging, which is why with, the 6th house and the story of the wheel of the zodiac, this is where we're taking those passions and we're grounding them, right? We're like, okay, this is great. I love this, but I need to be able to tend to all areas of life. So I got to kind of like tone it down on this and pay attention to these other areas of my life in equal value and measure. So sometimes, things that can come up with the Leo energy are, I will say too, so Leo and Aquarius are opposite one another on the wheel of the zodiac. And one of the things that this pairing kind of talks about, because all oppositional signs are trying to kind of solve a problem or address an area of life, and they start at opposite ends of the spectrum. And the goal is they kind of borrow from one another's approach until they meet in the middle, and they create a balanced, blended approach to solving that area of life. So one of the things that I feel the Aquarius and Leo axis kind of deal with is the relationship to attachment. In their shadow, when they are unhealed, Aquarius can be overly detached and Leo can be overly attached, whether it's to a person, to their hobbies, to their creativity, to a sense of leadership. They can also be overly attached to their ego sometimes, right? Because one of the kind of beautiful, heartbreaking sort of things about Leo energy is it's the embodiment of what it's like, the complexity, the beauty and the sadness alike, what it is like to be a limitless, ephemeral soul in a human body, right? A limitless, ephemeral soul that is every single day both living to the, ostensibly their fullest and dying. And there's that's really where there's a complexity with Leo. So when that's unhealthy, sometimes I can talk about ways where we put on a brave face, where we are performative, where we let our ego talk for us, where we have bravado, right? And so healthy, adjusted Leo energy is kind of being able to acknowledge that while also holding space for the sadness that can go along with it and being a complete and entire person. Excuse me. Leo energy as well in its shadow has a hard time letting other people take the reins, has a hard time letting other people do things for them. So there's a sense here of struggling to, it's kind of like heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's struggling to let other people help. So any kind of areas like that where you might have blockages, those are going to be coming up to be dealt with. But since Leo also rules, again, passions and hobbies and creativity and being in a leadership role in those contexts, this also can be a time where if you have creative endeavors, those could be getting recognition and more success. You could have a breakthrough with a skill set, hobby, or project that you've been working on. You might rediscover or discover a new passion, a new hobby, and it really is revitalizing to you, right? You may also find that, especially in whatever house Leo falls in for you, there is a reinvigoration of a leadership energy. You are kind of empowered and you feel confident when it comes to taking charge. So that's kind of something that can happen for people, during this full moon in Leo energy. So those are just some kind of broad strokes overviews of what we can all kind of expect at a collective level. So we are going to start pulling cards. However, like I said, take with a grain of salt that this will play out for everybody differently based on your own personal astrology, as well as just the circumstances of your own life journey. So with that, I've talked your ear off enough. let's get into it. And I'm going to start with this deck over here. I'm doing something a little different today. Whoop. Wow. I'm doing something a little different today because I'm shuffling on camera. I don't usually do that, but I like it. I'm like, ooh, who is she? Bottom of the deck, 11th house. Interesting. Talk about that Aquarian energy. So some of you might have Leo in the 11th house. But the two cards that flip themselves over, and it's so funny because I shuffled this deck prior, were Cancer and Gemini. And the reason why that's funny is because those are right next to each other in the astrological wheel of the zodiac. Excuse me. You could also have Gemini or Cancer in your 12th house. So, I really am looking at, so there's, the overarching theme with the Gemini card here is the butterfly. And of all the words here, I'm really drawn into curious and restless. So I'll hold it up in case you want to screenshot and be able to look at all the words. And with Cancer, we have the doula. Now again, I'll hold it up so you can see. I'm really drawn into comforting and lunar. Okay. I'm almost feeling two distinct energies here. So I'll describe what I see. For those where you're more drawn into the Cancer card, I feel like this is going to be a full moon that brings in a lot of comfort. I'm also really drawn to the word tender. That brings in a lot of comfort when it comes to an inner child issue, particularly with a mother figure, though not exclusively. We have the starfish here, and starfish are all about regeneration, as you can see. Starfish are all about regeneration. So some of you are healing from a pretty in-depth mother wound or wounded like a divine feminine energy. I have a burp stuck. I'm really sorry. Excuse me, it's not stuck anymore. Now, for those who are kind of resonating more with this Gemini energy, with curious and restless, I feel like there's something where with a kaleidoscope, all the pieces are coming together. You have an idea or you're about to, and intuitively you can pick up on this, right? I'm almost getting the energy with the butterflies of the butterfly, like almost kind of, starting to emerge from their goo phase in the cocoon, and they're about to start like fighting their way out of the cocoon, right? And if you're unfamiliar, that process for a butterfly, you're actually not supposed to, if you see a butterfly fighting to get out of the cocoon, you're not supposed to help it because that process strengthens its wings enough that it will be able to fly. And so there's something here where I feel like you're reaching for something you love with the rose, but you're missing pieces here, right? And with curious, a lot of you guys intuitively feel there's something big coming, there's something more coming, but you don't know what it's going to be yet. And so there's a sense of almost fidgety, restless energy of like, I know, maybe this is like career. Like, I know I should, I'm supposed to be doing something else, but I don't know what, and I don't know what steps to take. You're about to burst, you're like about to burst into fighting your way out of the cocoon. And so that's the energy that you're picking up on. I feel that this full moon will give you maybe clarity about what you want to pursue, and that will allow you to start taking action toward it. And maybe it will be a challenge, but one that you are up for, right? I also feel for some that this full moon is going to be really giving you the confidence that you're going to need. So those are kind of the first passes at the energy. So because we have kind of two distinct groups, we're going to look into it. This is the one for Cancer. And, woo, I almost accidentally checked that card, Gemini. Yeah, the bottom is Shark, Survival and Power. For the Cancer group, I feel like you're getting out of survival mode. I'm going to do a collective reading. And you might find that you resonate with both energies as well. You might find that one was kind of a previous energy for you and the other is sort of a current energy. But I feel that for the group that's more attracted to the Cancerian energy, for those of you more attracted to it, you're getting out of survival mode, and this is processing a lot of those old stuck emotions. And for the group more drawn into the kind of Gemini energy, I feel like this is you finding some element of your personal power, right? We have sharks here, and sharks never stop swimming until they die. And so there's kind of something where it's like you're about to start a journey that might very well be with you for the rest of your life. And again, in a good way, but this is like a journey to finding your power. Something that you just kind of like persist after, you know, at all costs. It's going to be it's going to be an energy that will propel you forward for a very long time. Yep, and I cut the deck. We have Moon with cycles and changes. Oh boy. So let's see. For the Cancerian energy, we have nourishment and transformation. Yeah, this is all about being able to nurture yourself at this time. We'll look more into it in a moment, but I just want to see what Gemini got. Okay, we have the Turtle with slowness and protection. Interesting. Excuse me. I have a stray hair and it's driving me nuts and I cannot find it to save my life. So sorry. Okay. So for those drawn into the Cancerian energy, nourishment, transformation, I do feel like I said, like you're regenerating, you're purging. This is going to be a month to really make a lot of space. I'm almost getting I'm getting this cradling imagery, to make a lot of space, to lovingly nurture your inner child. This is going to be a big time for that, because you are, and I feel some of you, I'm almost picking up this energy about whatever is being released this month. It's going to be like old stuff that I think that you've been afraid to look at in the stillness and in the pauses in your life. But it's coming up because it's ready to be transformed and released. And I feel some of you need to know that giving into these emotions, letting yourself purge, it's not going to last forever. Because for some of you, these are things that you've been running from for a long time, and I do feel that. I don't know why I just got the word death. So some of you, this is hyper specific. Some of you are going to be confronting fears about mortality in the month ahead. Some of you may have lost a mother and you're really going to be doing a lot of grief work. You're going to be, whether that's like literal, like this person passed on to the other side, or they're just no longer in your life. There's a sense here of, I just feel like, yeah, again, the word I got was death and then time. It's like having to confront maybe like a fear of, like I said, mortality, or if you have a challenging relationship with a mother, it's like having to kind of deal with the fact that like maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe like you guys only have so much time together, or there's like, I want to solve this. I want to, you know, reconcile, especially if that person is older, right? There's just kind of something about it. And for some, you are like, you're now a parent, or you're becoming a parent very soon. And this is like bringing up a lot, because this is the end of a really, really big healing cycle. It's time to finally be able to purge this. Again, regenerating. It's time to be able to purge this. And I do see that coming up. So with more of the Gemini energy, with slowness and protection, again, there's a fidgety restlessness, and I feel that in your energy heavily. So what your guides want you to know is that things might be moving slower than you want, or it's like, it's not even that I feel like you guys are trying to like move things along quickly, but it's like that anxious energy of like, I feel like I should be doing something. I feel like I should be going. And things are moving not at that pace, but at the perfect pace for you to emerge from the cocoon, right? Again, that kaleidoscope image, all of the pieces fall together and work together in the right order and harmony. And you are very protected during this process. You need to know that, kind of like the protective cocoon, you are very protected. So even though you might be feeling the energy where you feel like you're supposed to be moving quickly. So Jupiter's transits into Gemini in May, it's I believe May 25th, is when Jupiter transits to Gemini. That might be where the energy starts to pick up really, really heavily for you guys. In general, that's a collective theme. Excuse me. But yeah, I do see that. For some of you, like I said, you might resonate with kind of both energies here, both groups. So you might be in this place where you're both needing to release a lot of grief, a lot of old energy. But you also feel like you need to be moving toward the new energy. That could be that kind of Gemini vibe of like the twins, where it's like, you know, I need to be in stillness and you know, I need to be, it's like opposing needs. Like I need to be in stillness and need to be released, but I also feel like I need to get moving. So for some of you, you're finding balance between those things. I do see that. So let's see. I want to pull for Gemini first from this deck. It's this one. Solar plexus chakra with self-mastery. Okay. Immediately, yeah, and at the bottom is inner strength, also the solar plexus. Immediately what I feel like, and we had 15 and then 14. What I feel like is happening, I almost wanted to be like, like, slow down, young ward, or like Jafar and Aladdin, calm yourself, Iago. I wanted to kind of say that because I feel like, again, you guys are so tuned into that energy of what's to come. You're feeling it really heavily, almost like, you know, when you're too jacked up on caffeine. That's kind of the energy here. And I always say that when you're really psychically attuned to an energy, but it hasn't arrived into your life yet, it's kind of like hearing the boss music in a video game, but no boss, where you're like, okay, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Because you can feel it, right? It's like it's here, but, you know, nothing in your external reality has changed yet. And that's very, very common for those who are very tuned in psychically. Or again, even if it's like, you know, a particular energy, whether it's the next chapter in your life, somebody coming in, whatever it might be, when you're very connected to that energy, it can produce that kind of feeling where it's like, I feel like things are changing. I feel like this is coming in, but I don't see it. So some of you just need to kind of like relax, you know, that turtle energy, slow down, go with the flow. Because again, nothing can happen too quickly. We have that countdown of 15 into 14. So things are getting closer to go time. But I feel for some, this is highly specific, but it'll be go time in about 15 weeks. And I know that's kind of a while, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's just shy of 4 months, which is around that time that Jupiter is going to be moving into Gemini, pretty close to that. So for some of you, you know, this next 15 weeks is going to be a really, really pivotal time where you're wrapping up this big cycle of self-mastery. And so it's like everything in the right time, everything in the right order. It's okay. And I know that's tough. But you see how in this image, the light is coming through. Aspects of you, this new version of you, are still emerging, right? Because we have self-mastery and inner strength. You've really been through it, right? You got cojones of steel, babe. And so this old version of self needs to fall away. We have this light coming through. So this high vibrational next version of you is emerging. You are coming out the cocoon and you're feeling just fine. But yeah, it's like this is emerging. And so everything's got to happen in the right time. So for the Cancerian energy, I want to see what comes out. Ooh, okay. Crown chakra, spiritual awakening. This would be card 29. That would reduce to an 11, and that reduces to a 2. So, you know, we talked a lot about this final grief cycle in many ways, or like dealing with like one of, I don't want to say it's the last piece of shadow work, because we all have shadow kind of come up in, you know, cyclically. But there's a sense with that starfish of regeneration taking place. Some of you are having this massive third eye regeneration. Like I'm talking about healing generational wounds, kind of like trauma wounds, possibly between the third eye and the crown. So that's reconnecting to spirit. This is really specific, but something I just got is that for some, these two separate energies, the reason why they're both coming through is this is you and a counterpart. And you know, you can kind of put yourself where you see yourself, but you're very energetically connected to each other, which is why both of these energies are coming through right now. That's highly specific. You'll know if that resonates with you. I'm going to take a sip of my water. Oh, so good. Oh, awesome. Sometimes water just like, it just, 5 fingers slaps. 5 fingers in the air slaps. That's how good it is. Anywho. So I do see that you're going through a massive regeneration and a massive spiritual awakening right now. And that's why there needs to be this nurturance and this nourishment of self. Because we also had transformation. So you're completing a huge transformation. You could be releasing quite a lot of generational karma, especially on your like mother's side. And I do see that this is going to bring that up, right? You know, especially when you think about that Leo energy. This is not only that inner child energy, but this is something having to do with your confidence is impacted here. Yeah, that's what I was getting. Yeah, because at the bottom, this is the soul star chakra, divine wisdom. For you guys, the soul star chakra is known a lot of the times as the chakra of the mystics or the shamans. So for a lot of you, you have a lot of divine wisdom. You've been handed quite a challenging, hand of cards here, because, you're very active in your 8th chakra. You're here to be a guide to others. And I think you're already spiritually awakened, but this is the next level. This is expanding you even further, possibly to take up a greater leadership role. Like I said, some of you have just become parents or about to become parents not too long from now. Like within a year, you might be taking a big step toward parenthood. And part of your journey is to like heal generational karma around parenthood. So I do see that. You're also integrating a lot of divine wisdom into your Akashic records, and you need to know that. And I am going to pull tarot, but I want to get all the oracle cards on the table first. So for the Cancerian energy, what do we need to know, Spirit? Oh, it's this one. 4th chakra, the heart chakra, yeah. The energy of the heart chakra supports our inner guidance system, which is governed by our heart and the capacity to love deeply. Oh, I want to give you guys a hug. So for the Gemini energy, it's not that, okay. Which card is it, Spirit? That's way too many. That was like 4. What does the Gemini energy here need to know? This is and the 2nd chakra. Interesting that 2 chakra cards came out. And the 5th chakra is at the bottom. Again, for some, this is like the 2 energies that are showing up. It's you and a counterpart, whether you've met this person in the 3D yet or not. And one of you is healing wounds to the 4th chakra. One of you might be healing generational karmic wounds to the 2nd chakra. A lot of divine feminine energy getting healed here. The Gemini person might be, because we have the solar plexus represented as well, might be, in addition, healing and balancing the relationship between their masculine and feminine energies. Both of you, I feel, are working on finding your truth and being able to communicate that better. One of you, in general, to being able to communicate it to others better. The other is to be able to communicate your truth to yourself more, just like own it for yourself. If this is not you and a counterpart, this can also be a theme where these are coming up. Either or both of these themes are coming up, because there's something here where you're coming into a place of being, needing to be able to communicate about your needs, about your ideas, about your experiences. And so this is coming up now. So you're going to be able to do that, whether it's, as a parent, being able to communicate effectively with your children. I really keep feeling for the Cancerian energy. This is really hyper specific. I cut the deck with connection. And then forgiveness. I was just about to say, and I'm getting a little choked up about this for some. With the Cancerian energy, some of you I feel like some of you have a challenging energy with a mother, and what I'm being shown, and I don't want to alarm anyone, I'm being shown that mother figure passing on. And so this could, again, I hope this is not the case. For some, that could be literal. That could be something that's already happened and you're now processing it. But that can also indicate that mother figure is going through an ego death. And even if you're not in contact with this person, you feel it because you're very heavily connected in the heart chakra. So, for more of this Cancerian energy going on here with the heart chakra, there is this, this spiritual awakening that's happening that has a lot to do with purging and regeneration, like we were talking about. It's so interesting because both the 2nd chakra, the sacral chakra, and the 4th, the heart chakra, they can deal with love. But the sacral deals with our emotions, right? And I always think it's so interesting that the 4th chakra is your air chakra, meaning that the love that we feel that comes out of the heart chakra, it's aligned with the air element because it's aligned, I think, with higher truth. It's also, the upper 3 are the chakras of spirit, the lower 3 are the chakras of matter, and this is the only connecting chakra. So there's a sense here where that fourth chakra, that love, that higher vibrational understanding of the world, that serves as the bridge to, you know, between our earthly selves and our spiritual selves, between spirit and matter. And so a lot of you guys, you're healing and repairing the bridge. Some of you might have physical ailments that are like, ooh, straight hair, that are respiratory. Some of you got, have maybe issues with like breast tissue. I don't know why I'm getting that. Or some of you have knots in your chest a lot. You pull muscles in your chest. You have a lot of chest tightness. Always go seek medical help. I'm not a medical professional, so nothing we're talking about is substitution for professional diagnosis, treatment, or advice. But some of you, it's that's kind of something that goes on. Some of you get tension right here, I'm seeing. But this is gonna bring up, again, a huge amount of purging. And this is, not only is this going to allow you to release that pain, but it is also going to give you more energy, free up more energy for your spiritual gifts to expand. Some of you are expanding into your mediumship capabilities. Excuse my burp, I do see that. For some of you, you're spiritually connecting with a mother figure that you have been separated from, or that things have not been going well with. This person might start visiting you in dreams. Like I said, for some, you have lost this person. They've transitioned over. That might be happening. Possibly not this month, but you might start to have dreams where you're talking to them a lot. And that's not going to be for everyone. Again, I don't want to be alarmist, so please self-reference. But I just see it really strongly. For some, you're going to start dreaming about, this mother or this mother figure. And whether this person is transitioning over or not, the cycle between the two of you is coming to an end. And that's why you're seeing them a lot in the astral realm, why you're dreaming of each other a lot. Because it's time to let each other go, for real. Whether you guys are dealing with each other in the 3D yet or not. You're about to start your next cycle, and you guys are finally letting each other go. I think it will be peaceful. I think as your relationship transitions over to being entirely in the spiritual, for whatever reasons, I think you guys will have a better relationship. And for those of you who, I'm getting choked up again, jeez. For those of you who this person has transitioned over, or very soon will, in the next few months, or 11 weeks, possibly 11 months for some. It would be worth your time to read Walking Each Other Home by Ram Dass and Mirabai Bush. It is one of, I think, the most beautiful books I've ever read in my life. It is hard to get me to openly weep at media. And I read it after my first pet, my beloved little black cat familiar, after she died. And I bawled my eyes out, but it's one of the most beautiful books in the world. And one of the things they talked about in it, and this is one of the things that it got me. I just started crying like a fountain. But they said in it, when somebody you love dies, your relationship with them doesn't go away. It just changes. You still have a relationship with them even after they pass on. And I think the same applies whether this person is transitioning over or whether the cycle is done and you never reconnect in the 3D, and your relationship becomes largely spiritual, where you have dreams about each other and maybe you see synchronicities of each other. It's not going to be as difficult and as painful as it's been in the past. So your relationship with this person's higher self continues on. It's just going to change. And so for some of you, you're really releasing and concluding a very, very big cycle. And I feel this is because you're coming into this beautiful Leo energy, regardless of your sign or your big three, of that inner child coupled with the confidence to be, the most trusting and innocent and open version of yourself. Excuse me. And so I really do see that here. And whatever blockages toward that are coming up, whatever fears, whatever traumas, whatever pain is coming up for you this month, this is meant to be cleared away. So hold loving space for that. So you can really authentically and confidently step into your truest self, right? There's something that you're bound to make and to do, and it's part of your path. And again, that very active 8th chakra, it's not even just something that you do, but it's something about how you're going to guide other people. You know, and you kind of have that energy of the shaman, somebody who is, you know, wise as the crone, but optimistic like the maiden, right? That's that beautiful balance of having, you know, the knowledge and the wisdom to make your way through life, but also having the understanding that, you know, having that childlike energy is a beautiful way to balance that out, right? It's equally necessary, you know, because children believe and children have optimism and children try things and they enjoy life, right? And that's something a lot of us forget in the process. So I do see that you're about to step into a really beautiful cycle where you're experiencing a refresher. You're getting like a boost of energy. You're able to live in that energy in such a unique, high vibrational way, in such a way that is so authentic to you. If you've been struggling to find your style, your presentation, your authentic way of doing something, it's going to just be effortless. It'll be very magnetic and attractive energy too. So this is really like the final leg of a pretty heavy journey of like emotional clearance. And again, a karmic cycle with somebody who's very important to you is likely coming to a close. Now, for more of this Gemini energy, you know, we have the 2nd chakra. The energy of the sacral chakra helps us to navigate our lives through our emotions and supports our ability to enjoy the sensual world. What I feel like is y'all have, you know, you guys are like the little energizer bunnies. You have a lot of energy, you have a lot of mental energy, a lot of ideas, but what's missing is the balance, attuning to your emotions. Being able to stop and take breaks and rest, being in equal parts of that divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And with enjoying the sensual world, being able to ground into your body, into the moment, being able to ground into your body in such a way that you're able to connect to your emotions. So somatic healing or somatic experiences might be really helpful. This is going to be a month where, you know, I feel like you're learning how to do that more. Again, we have self-mastery coming up. So you're learning how to do both. You're learning how to, you know, how to temper your energy. I see that here, how to find balance at an internal and external level between the head and the heart, the masculine and feminine. Balance is the name of the game for you guys. And to know that this takes time to master those two things, right? But the energy, you know, will pick up. Things will move forward. Again, that cocoon energy. You're still kind of finishing up the last little bits of your cocoon time. And then it's going to be time to like make your way out and take flight. And so right now you're working with, you know, healing, expanding, activating your 2nd chakra to be able to do that, which is awesome. So I want to pull just a couple cards for each. Let's go on with this Cancerian energy. Queen of Wands. For some of you, this person that you're letting go of is a fire sign. And I love, I was talking about my cat. We have a little black cat. She was great. I love her. Her name was Moss. The 10 of Swords reversed. Oh. And the World reversed. Yeah, it's finally time. Pardon my itchy nose. And the King of Pentacles is reversed at the bottom. This has been a block to your abundance too. And it's time for you to have a different experience. It's time for you to become this Queen of Wands, somebody who really enjoys their life, somebody who is wise enough to understand that sometimes it's better not to know. Not knowing is where the magic is sometimes, and just enjoying. This is going to be, you know, a time of you pursuing your passions and really shining your light. And that's going to be, you know, unique to you. With the black cat energy, it's going to be very intuitive as well. You're going to know how to just be you and express yourself in a very authentic way, with a lot more ease than you may have had in the past. And this is because this is going to this is a month where you've been in this place where with the Ten of Swords reversed, the worst is over and it's just been a slow healing process. The dawn has slowly risen over time. For some of you, this has been going on the last 10 years. And with the World in reverse, this cycle, I feel, is about to come to a close. It's finally going to be over. Yeah, the Six of Swords reversed. You're finally going to find peace. This is an inner child healing card for me. Sorry if you can hear people. My dogs are getting back from daycare. And the Four of Wands reversed. And part of this has blocked you from finding your soul family. Part of this has kept you feeling like you don't have a place. You don't have a home at the soul. Some of you have Chiron and Cancer. I do see that here. But this is going to be immensely healing. Yep, cut the deck and we have death and rebirth. Scorpio energy. You're finally going to be able to let this go. You're finally going to be able to, and like I said, for some, there is, you're confronting fears of death that have held you back. Maybe kept you from taking risks, from trying things that you wanted to try. For some, like you're confronting a fear of, a fear of being extinguished. And that's setting free this Queen of Wands energy within you. I don't know where it went. I want to clarify, even though I should have pulled it, I want to clarify what that death energy is about. The Knight of Pentacles. You've been doing slow, methodical work for a long time. And there's a time for this and there's a time for this. And I think that you've been taking small measured steps. There might be a creative project or a dream that you've been working toward for a while. What is this? The Four of Swords reversed. This has been your healing. And again, with the nest imagery, feeling like you have a place to call your own. Some of you are finally moving into your own home, or you're relocating entirely. But this is, what that death energy is about, is that you've done all the work. You've taken all the steps. I like that in this version, he's not on his horse, he's walking. And there's a sense here of like, even when like there has been an opportunity to take the easier way, you've opted to walk the path. Really opted to be doing the work. And because of that, this cycle is going to be coming to a close. The healing that you've been seeking, the sense of home within yourself, within your happiness, your authenticity, that's going to be something that you're getting closer to. We have the Eight of Wands reversed. A lot of this has hindered your self-expression. And again, that confidence. And so this is going to be a month where I feel any last blocked energy toward this transformation comes up to be transformed with that death energy. And so for more of this Gemini energy, let's see what's coming out. The Hanged Man reversed. A lot of you are struggling with being in the cocoon. It's okay. Pisces energy showing up. I want to take this one. The Knight of Cups. A lot of you, it's like a lot of you are going to have like a reinvigoration of like passion or something that you really love. You're going to want to go for it. The Letter, some of you are getting news, or you're thinking about how to communicate about something. You're thinking about how to pursue something that you love. And there's a sense here with the Knight of Cups, because the Knight of Cups is, the Knights are like seekers, but they also go seek to, they learn a lot as pages, which are apprentices. Sorry if you can hear the water running through my house. They learn a lot as pages, which are apprentices, but then the Knights take what they learned as pages, and they go out and they apply it, and so they learn by experience. And so there's something about like, in the Six of Wands reverse, there's something about like, I feel like I've learned so much, I've grown so much, there's so much out there, I'm ready to take this on. And so there might be a fear of failure, and it's like, if I don't get going on this now, I won't do it. There could be a fear of missing out on an opportunity, FOMO. And so I do see that, this is going to bring forward a passion that you're going to want to take action on. With the Hanged Man reversed, you're going to want to get going. The Three of Pentacles. Okay, some of you, this is a job. For others, Knight of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles, you're wanting to establish a relationship with somebody. And the Queen of Swords. Okay. For some, look at the placement. For some, there is something that you want to establish a relationship with somebody, and you might be waiting for them to reach out, or you might be wanting to reach out. I feel like it's almost like you guys want to reach out. especially if you're balancing the solar plexus and sacral chakra, there could be a sense where you're getting in touch with all the, like, this overwhelming passion and these emotions. And it's like, I want to try this. This could be somebody you already know. And there's a fear here because she's got her back to these. There's a fear where somebody's not going to be receptive either to your offer, or somebody's not going to be interested in offering you something. And it's kind of like, I want to know what's going to happen. I want to come and talk to them about this. I feel like this is an offer you guys want to make somebody else. Excuse me. Sorry. What is this? What is this Three of Pentacles kind of about? The Six of Cups. This is a soulmate. This, for some of you, this is wanting to pursue a path that you've wanted since childhood. This is like, you know, I always wanted to have this job. I always wanted to live in this place. I always wanted to have this type of hobby, or, you know, hang out with these types of people. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it. There's that excitement here, right? Yeah, and the Six of Wands reversed, this is like a fear of missing the boat. But strength, you're being asked to be patient. Spirit has heard your heart's desires, your heart's request. It's going to happen. It's just going to take a little bit more time. Some of you, you might start communicating with this person. This would be somebody who might be kind of hard to get to. Look at the cup, right? Emotionally, they might be kind of closed off, a little reserved. I don't know why, again, I feel like it's you guys making like an overture toward them. Excuse me. This is a person, I guess I want to see who's making an offer to who? Who's the one making the offer? Just so I can hopefully give you guys a little bit more clarity. Just due to like the themes that came out, I feel like it's you guys making the offer. But let's look, because, yeah. Magician, so this could be a Gemini or a Virgo. This is somebody who's very smart, Queen of Swords and the Magician. Yep. Three of Swords. Okay. The Page of Cups, and the King of Wands. So whether this is you or the other person, I'm going to describe the person who's making the offer, right? And if you're like, oh, that's totally them, wonderful. The person who's making the offer, this is somebody who may have hurt you. I'm going to be honest. These two together is like, I'm so sorry. You know, and if this was you, the reason why this happened, you know, this could be a rejection of love. This could be, you know, an offer to work on a creative project that's shot down. The King of Wands in reverse suggests that this person who, you know, fumbled, who dropped the ball, was not really in their power. You know, again, that Six of Wands reverse, they were doubting themselves. They were not feeling confident. Maybe they didn't know what they wanted. They weren't sure. They weren't confident that they were on point. So if you know that this is somebody where you're wanting, you know, especially Page of Cups, reconciliation, you want to try again, you want to, you know, actually go for something this time, whether it's a creative project, a job, you know, a relationship. If you know that you're like, yeah, you know what, I wasn't doing my best before, but I really want to try again now, then this would be you making the offer. Now, if you were on the receiving end of this and you were kind of like, yeah, you know, this person, if that's the case, you actually might resonate with the Cancerian energy a little bit more. Again, I feel like there's almost two people here. But there's a sense where it's like, if this was something you experienced, this person wants to come back around to apologize, first and foremost, apologize and explain to you, because they miss you. Six of Cups, you guys miss each other, like, a lot. This person was not in their power. They were not, like I said, not confident. They may have felt upstaged by you in some way, shape, or form. They may have just felt like they couldn't compare. And so instead, they may have kind of like shut you out a little bit, or even actively done things to sabotage the relationship. And they want to come in and apologize for what they've done. I do see a mending happening in this situation, right? Because the Queen of Swords, this person's got their guard up, but this person's open to the truth, right? So if the truth, like, let's say this was something that you were dealing with and you're like, I did not do my best. If the truth was like, hey, you know what? I'm so sorry. I should have done better. I was not in a good place. I was not doing my best, but I've been working on it. I've, you know, had some realizations, like whatever it might be, this person's going to listen, right? It's okay. Like, this person's going to be fair to you. And so I feel like this person's going to be discerning, and this person's very sharp. very shrewd. You cannot play this person. So if this is you who feels like they want to try again and like apologize, just be honest, speak from the heart. This person will understand. And if this is an offer coming in for you because you've been put through this, this person knows that you're wiser this time, and thus they're going to be compelled to be more open and vulnerable, which I think will change the dynamic. Excuse me. So I just want to pull a couple of final cards about advice from Spirit about this, like dealing with this full moon energy. Three of Wands, know that there is a bright future ahead. The seeds you have planted will blossom. There are new adventures on the horizon, new aspects of self that you are going to have the space and time and energy and resources to be pursuing in a serious way. Ace of Pentacles reversed, okay. Interesting, we're just talking about seeds that have been planted. Sorry, low power mode. Ace of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Excuse me. This full moon is going to bring in a lot of understanding about where to invest yourself, or in what from your past, what didn't work out, like why things from your past didn't work out. By the end of this full moon energy, you're going to have a good sense of what you need to walk away from, or why somebody has walked away from you. There's going to be clarity. That's the biggest thing here. And this is going to release all parties involved, whether it's, you know, spiritual clarity, psychic clarity, the end of a karmic cycle, or whether it's, you know, emotional clarity and communication as a result, explanation, and moving forward. This full moon for you guys is going to bring a profound sense of resolution and completion. So that's everything I've got for you guys today. I'm really wishing you a safe, happy, healthy full moon. Please feel free to let me know in the comments how this resonates or how this energy plays out for you over the following lunar month. Yeah, it's been an honor and a joy to get to read for you today, and I hope I get to again very soon. Take care. Bye.